Every new Mario Superstar Baseball player makes these mistakes, and we want to help you not make them. Here are the top 10 mistakes beginners make at Mario Superstar Baseball.
I gotta say, the biggest mistake that I see new players making is that they charge swing with every single character. I mean, charge swinging is certainly viable when you're using heavies, for sure. Outside of that, I typically prefer to use a slap swing. That's where you just tap A instead of charging. Now, I will also say that does change depending on some metas. If you're playing with superstars on, people get a little bit of a power boost, right? You could start charging with those balance characters as well.
The next thing you're going to find yourself doing is charge pitching at every at bat. You do not want to be charge pitching very much as a pitcher in Mario Superstar Baseball. It is much harder to actually curve your pitch, which is the biggest thing that you want to do as a pitcher. You want to curve your pitch, make people think, oh, it's coming inside. Oh, no, it went outside and they swung right through it. And when you're charge pitching, sure, they come down a little bit faster, but your opponents are going to know the timing and they're going to be able to hit balls like that, no problem. It's all about curve, not about speed.
It's kind of the same thing with batting, right? You get that temptation to charge, right? You see them charging up, you're like, "Oh, this is going to be great," but variety is the spice of life here. Speaking of variety, let's get some variety in which bases we're throwing to people. Every time I see a new player catch the ball in the outfield, that ball is being thrown to home without fail. Now, why is that happening? It's they're holding down when they're going to throw. You might think, hey, I'm in the outfield. I need to throw it down the screen, but that is not how it works, people. Think of the joystick as the diamond, right? You get that little diamond icon in the top right with the runners. Up is to second base, left is to third, right is to first, down is going all the way home. It's going to be a disaster. Now, if you do need to get it to the infield in a pinch, you can actually hold L and press A, and you'll throw it to your cutoff. This also works if you just tap A with nothing else held, but holding L gives you a little bit more consistency.
One of the worst things you could do as a new Mario Baseball player is not send your runners back. The double play is one of the worst things that can happen to you while playing Mario Superstar Baseball. The ball's in the air, it gets caught. Oh, you didn't get back to base in time. You're out. That's 2 outs. You only get 27 outs in an entire game, so you want to get as little of them as possible. The first thing you want to do when you know your ball is going to get caught is just be mashing that X button. It stops the runners first, and then it'll bring them back on another hit. And they'll just keep coming back until they get back to their respective base.
And along those same lines, right, we need to be paying attention to the count.
Mm.
If you're getting a pop out like that and you have 2 outs, it's fine. Full send your runners. There's no reason for them to go back anyway. And this really goes for when you're batting as well as you're pitching, right? When you're pitching, you have 3 balls to work with. I see so many new pitchers throw strike, 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 strike. They just want to get the batter out and be done with it, but we need some patience up in here, right? Work the count, throw some balls, throw some strikes, change it up. Variety is the spice of life. And on top of that, as the batter, keep in mind your pitcher might be doing that to you, right? You don't have to swing at every hittable ball. Wait for one that you have lined up. You can get nice contact and hit the ball where you want it to go.
Another big mistake we see beginners make is not playing characters in their correct positions. There's lots of characters that would prefer to be on third base or in left field or even at catcher. There's lots of different abilities in this game that would be more appropriate in certain parts of the field. We're going to go through a couple of those for you now.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to go into specific characters per se. That'd be a little bit more in depth. If you guys are interested in something like that, I mean, listen, get this video to 100 likes and we'll put it out for sure. But yeah, we're going to go through more so abilities, I think. So, I mean, kick us off.
Yeah, I mean, those middle infield positions, some of the most, I mean, listen, a lot of the positions are important in the game, but second and shortstop are very important.
Probably the most important, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. You're going to see laser characters and sliding catch characters there quite often. Laser, an ability that throws to home really fast when a runner is running home. And sliding catch just widens your dive range
Yeah.
a lot.
I would definitely argue sliding catch over laser in importance there. But they're definitely both like killers. Next up is going to be corner bases. This is your third baseman and your first baseman. The infield plays a very big role in this game. For these, you want bigger characters that have either super jump or, again, laser, right? Laser has that strong throw home. Going to help you stop extra runs from coming across. And super jump gives those guys the hops. They're going to jump up and cut off a lot of balls going down the line.
Absolutely. And there are many premier corner basemen that are also just really like high meta characters. We'll talk about that in another video though. As for the outfield, in the stars off meta, you'll mostly be seeing wall jumpers or sliding catch characters there. You'll mostly see your wall jump characters in right field because that's where most people are hitting home runs to. And sliding catch just helps characters get to that ball that's just might be a little bit too far for most characters. They're able to go the extra distance.
Absolutely. And you had said stars off meta there. We are referring to superstars off with star skills still on. That is what stars off meta refers to. And last but not least, we got the catcher. Now, you don't really need any specific abilities here. Really, all you need is a strong throwing arm so you can gun characters down. I'd say ball dash might be a little helpful, but it's kind of just on silly little goobers, so it's less important. Yeah, coming up next at number 7, we got know your star hitters, right? Managing your stars in this game is super clutch. It's super important. This is a resource you can burn to help drive in extra runs. If you place your star hitters strategically in the lineup, you can see some big action coming through. A lot of characters have line drive, such as Magikoopa, where they hit a line drive super fast out to the outfield wall, usually hits a double, really good at driving in runs. As well as another really powerful one is captain characters, right? Mario, Luigi, Birdo, a bunch of others. They have very unique star abilities, star skills. One thing to look out for though, if they're not your captain, it costs you double. It costs you 2 stars to use a captain star skill that is not your team's captain.
Another big thing you want to be doing that might not seem as important when you first start playing, swapping the handedness of your batters. Some characters get a lot better when they're righty or lefty. Some of those characters that benefit from a swap include Pianta and Wario, who hit the ball way, way better as lefties. And then there's some characters who, if you switch them off their defaults, are much worse. Bowser, big notable.
Oh,
Keep
big
Bowser
no.
lefty. Righty Bowser is way worse.
So much worse. And actually, it's really funny. I think our first tier list, right? We had Pianta as the last character. That was before we had realized, hey, switch his handedness, and all of a sudden, he can actually make some good contact. And I think that was a really big game changer. And you had spoken of Bowser, right? Righty Bowser, super bad. But for our next tip, you gotta watch out for Bowser because lefty Bowser is a force to be reckoned with. His bat is all good contact, like the entire thing. Hit him in the hand, it's going to the moon. It doesn't matter. A lot of people will just walk Bowser instead of even pitching to him. And I think this actually can be extended to other characters as well, besides just Bowser, right? If I'm playing a game and my opponent is on fire with like Hammer Bro, for instance, listen, a single is a lot better than giving up a home run. So I'd probably opt to do that.
Don't be afraid to walk characters. Be afraid of Bowser.
Yeah,
Those are the notes you should take away from that.
for sure.
All right, so this is the part of the video where we admit that we lied a little bit.
Liars.
There are not 10 things that you should know as a beginner. There are actually 11 things.
Dude, I thought you were going to say there's only 9.
There's only 9.
We're
Video's
done.
over. No, the 10th most important thing for a beginner is to join the Mario Superstar Baseball Discord. It's an incredible resource that has been curated and organized over the past few years. You can find full stats for every character, drafting strategies, and honestly, the most helpful community I've ever known in my entire life.
By far.
In 2 seconds, you join that thing, you ask a question, 2 seconds, someone will answer it, and it'll be right.
Absolutely.
They're great.
Dude, they're so good. You'll get like paragraphs, like research papers for it. It's super awesome. Link to joins down below, guys. We hope to see you there. And finally, the tip you've all been waiting for. Number 11, the secret, the holy grail to getting good at Mario Baseball. Unfortunately, it is just to practice. I hate
Play
to
the
say it,
game.
you gotta play the game. There's no secret miracle. There's no secret sauce where you're instantly awesome at it. You just gotta play the game. I think there's a lot of characters in this game that take a lot of finesse, like Pianta, Petey. These characters where they're really good, but you have to be able to perform well with them. They're a little bit higher of a skill floor. And there's some really good resources for you to do that. You can use free batting and base running in the practice menu of the game. I think that's really good for hitting like specific characters. Like, oh, I really want to work on Petey. I'm going to hit balls with Petey for like an hour. Another really good one, there's actually a Project Rio code. You could have always 0 strikes, 0 balls, 0 outs. you can just get a whole lineup going. That way you can be like, okay, I hit well with PD. Now let's see if I can follow up with Pianto or something along those lines. But the number one thing that will get you to be a pro at Mario Baseball, you gotta play some net play, baby. Hop into the Discord and play some online games today, guys. It is an absolute blast. You will have a great time. We will have a great time. Everyone wins. It's awesome. This game is awesome, and I hope you guys are looking forward to getting into it. We've been Dinger City, and
Dinger City out.